My name's Deven. I guess my full name is Deven Patel, and I'm from Sugar Land, so it's a suburb about 30 minutes south of downtown Houston. I moved to San Antonio so I moved like July of 2021, and yeah, I was coming here for school, and then I didn't grow up in church or anything, but I was in like a Bible study group in college, and my senior year, the guy who was discipling me was telling me that it would be a good idea for me to like be like a part of like a local church. So I went, I feel like I probably went to like 4 or 5, but Mission, I want to say, was the second church I came to. So I came, and then it was whatever. Like I went to other churches. It was like they were like several of them were really solid. But I remember Daniel Deuce had told me about like the men's Bible study that was going on in the summer. So I pulled up, nothing crazy like magical, but I remember that like Gary, Danny, Daniel, several of like the guys there, they were just very like, I think Pastor Tom used the term like confessional lifestyle, like very open, confessing sin. We were going through Psalm 23 at the time. It was like it was like some Matt Chandler video resource, and we were kind of talking through it, and people were like very openly confessing sin, talking and asking for prayer about how they could be like better husbands and dads and like just men of God. I feel like God was just like, okay, like this is a healthy Bible study. You don't need to find like a magical place to go to church. You just need to find or a place that makes you feel magical. You just need to find a solid place where they're worshiping me and like following me the way I like have commanded. And I was like, okay, that's Mission. Part of being a disciple is not just coming to listen, but it's like you might hear like a sermon that's good, but it's not gonna like blow your mind. But if in that same Sunday morning, like you go and you serve, and like some little kid is like closer to learning about God, or if they already know God, they're growing in their walk, like that is like worship too. So I feel like that's like another area where I couldn't pin it on one person besides Jesus, like as the main guy, like where I feel like I'm being discipled and like being shaped. Is like when I wake up now, I still do my Bible reading like I have been doing for the years before, but I feel like the main thing God is doing through the church in my life is like, I think I wake up and read, and I wake up and read and I'd be like, wow, that's such a cool takeaway I have from my quiet time. And now it's like, wow, that's such a cool takeaway I have from my quiet time. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm mentally going through like, how can I apply this? Or like, okay, like what is this saying about where where in my life is the scripture saying I need to make a change? And it's helping me do less thinking and more so being like, this is the truth. And then God's basically helping me to be like, and don't overcomplicate it. Just like take the next step. Like sometimes things are hard, and you can feel tired or weak, and you can get talked in. You can talk yourself into justifying something as like something that provides stress relief. Or like, oh, I have it rough in this area, so let me cut corners in this area. And I think what's cool about DG is like, that's what real Christian encouragement looks like, is like, all it takes is one person to come in and be like, that's whack. And then you're like, it kind of lights you up, and you're like, wait, that is whack. Like, I know that's whack. I kind of knew that was whack secretly the whole time, but when no one challenged me on it, it was easier for me to just suppress it. And so I think Danny had quoted some guy at the church, this was a great quote. He said, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And so I think that's like the beauty of brotherly love, is like when you know people care about you, everybody wants to give advice. Like 17 different people a day give you advice. Eventually at a point in time, you're gonna filter a lot of it out. But I think what's cool about DG is when the people that you know care about you give you advice, it sticks more. And I think that's even like, I know that's like true of God, is that like he died for us and he rose, and he like he displayed his love through the cross, and then called us to say, and now come obey. Like I died first, I love you first, now you come follow me, which is fire. And so anyways, I think that's one of the great things about DG, is like, it's like they love you and they care about you, and then they tell you stuff. And I think that's how it should be, because I think that's just like, our hearts are hard, and I think that's one of the way God softens it, is just through having other people care about us so much that it kind of makes you like, your ego almost doesn't even want to be there, and you could even see my shoulders just relax. Like your ego kind of just like, or whatever hardness is making you want to do something, it almost starts to get melted away by the love, and then you're like, maybe I am wrong about this, and maybe I do want to change.